guys, Kelly Gorsuch here. I'm a Washington, D.C. entrepreneur. Over the next few months, we're going to be working on a few different projects. You'll be following me the whole way, kind of see the ins and outs and ups and downs of what being an entrepreneur is. Should be pretty much a hell of a ride. This is my first restaurant project, the Shaw Bijou in Washington, D.C. Really excited about that. I got a great team here, Glenn Pyatt, Kwame Onwashi, and Greg Vakiner. We're going to be bringing modern American food with global influence to you guys. We'll kind of get into that as we go along. We're really going to concentrate on innovating the process of dining, and we're going to concentrate on bringing the best service and product we can to the people, and then we're going to let the guests figure out what we are as a restaurant. Like I said, I'm now an entrepreneur. I became a hairstylist at a pretty young age. Went to hair school at like 17 years old, and just spent the last 20 years cutting hair. So when I was about 24, I opened a salon in DuPont Circle with a partner. The first one kind of went terribly bad. Entrepreneurship is never an easy thing. It always takes lots of work. First one, I had a partner who basically got addicted to cocaine in the process, and then I had to have somebody come in and take over his portion of the salon and kind of bail me out. And I worked with that partner for about 7 years. Things kind of went south, like could never get along, so I ended up going out on my own about 7 years ago now, almost to the day. And in the last 7 years, we've done some crazy things. Opened up Immortal Beloved in Washington, D.C., moved that locations. We got too big. We started up a barbershop. Now I have 3 locations for that. I bought that first salon back from my old partner a couple months ago. That's now Cavalry Salon in DuPont Circle. So it's been a hectic few years. I bought a construction company which is working on the Bijou project currently. We're just kind of going crazy. We're in the process of opening something up down in Richmond, Virginia. So the next 4 months or so of us taping is going to be kind of taking you behind the scenes of being an entrepreneur and me opening up all of these brands in quick succession. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'll be stressed out. It'll be enjoyable to watch, and hopefully bring some value. So a few years ago, I was approached by a client to do a ramen joint, and I own a building here in Shaw, and we were going to use that and do a ramen joint, and then that fell through. We had a chef out of New York that was going to come down and do some ramen, and we just couldn't get along with the chef by the end of it, and so we parted ways, and then we started looking for another one. One of the things that that was kind of something that I would have done but wasn't like crazy about. It just wasn't high end and exclusive enough for me. Like I typically like am more comfortable in luxury brands. It's just my world. I know it better. Like I'm just not like I'm just not a cheap product, cheap service, you know. Try to like price compete. That's just not me. I'm just not good at that, so I'm gonna stay pretty far away from that. So when I had the opportunity to change direction, we took that opportunity. We went out, we found a chef, Kwame Onwashi. He was adamant to bring a team down with him from New York, and we were excited about that. And just you know, he's very passionate, very much like an entrepreneur, very ambitious, very driven. So it felt really good. It felt right. You know, it felt like it was what we needed and who we needed, and we really just wanted to do something upscale and something nice and kind of change the game here in Washington, D.C.
My name is Glenn Pyatt, and I'm a part owner of the Shaw Bijou. My background is in government consulting and management consulting. I've been doing that for about 15 years, managing large-scale businesses, so a large business for a privately owned company in the DC area. Got into this business very just randomly, I guess. Kelly Gorsuch, the other owner, has been cutting or was cutting my hair for, I would say, close to the amount of time that I've been in the industry, about 15 years. And one day I walked into my hair appointment and I said I wanted to open a ramen shop. And then I didn't really have to explain much. You know, I had a friend of a friend, and then he said he's in. He's like, how do I sign up? So that's kind of that's kind of been our MO when it comes to this project. Is just, let's just get it done. Let's do this. Let's do something that we both wanted to do something different from our industry, and we both love food. We always talked about food, so that's how we got involved. And then we met Kwame, and then through Kwame we met Greg, and it's been a blast. This last, I guess, I think it's been almost a year and a half that we started this venture, and it's been exciting. The guys are great. I think we all work together really well. We bring kind of our strongest suits to the table. So definitely super excited about this project. I think we are very close, and I think everyone will be pleased with the final product.
Greg Vakiner. I am the general manager, part owner here at Shaw Bijou. Originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I've been in the restaurant industry since I was a young teenager. Worked a number of odd jobs throughout the years, mainly working at Houlihan's through my late teens into early 20s. Kind of got a knack for cooking, fell in love with it. Decided to go to culinary school at Hyde Park at the Culinary Institute of America, which is where I met Kwame back in 2011. We started off as enemies, quickly became best friends. I started working as his right-hand man for his catering company, and we kind of just hit things off from that point. We joked far back that we would open up a restaurant together after a few years working in 3 Michelin star restaurants, and after graduating school we both worked at 11 Madison Park. Took 2.5 years there, and Kwame left to go do Dinner Lab, and we have been working on a concept for a restaurant, which Dinner Lab brought Kwame here to DC, did an event. A friend of Glenn's ate at the meal and put the two of them in touch. He came down and met them, came back with a offer that I had to hear for myself, so we came down here, met these guys, and the rest is history.
All right, so this is the front entrance. Once again, this is the door. This is the only entrance into the restaurant. You're gonna come through here, through the foyer. This is kind of where the hostess area will be. This whole area is designed to be black, pitch black, kind of desensitize you from the world, more just to kind of calm you down when you come into the space, hustle and bustle of DC, and then you'll be able to branch off, one into the restaurant or go upstairs into the membership lounge.
The membership lounge. This will be a yearly membership paid for by the guests that will have access to this space. This is not open to the public. This is not open to dining room guests. This is all for people in the neighborhood that really wanted a place to kind of get away from the normal hustle and bustle of bars with our spin on things. So up on this side, this raised side, will be 3 separate seating areas with couches, chairs, and coffee tables with lamps. And those will all be raised up 1 step. You get a couple more seating areas in front of those, with another couch on this wall, with a couple chairs in front of that. And on this side, you'll have the private dining area that will be raised up here. You'll have a double-sided fireplace. You'll have some lockers lining this, with a veil closing this side of the room off, with a 10-top table, with 2 larger chairs, and a coffee table over here as well. Up into the bar area. That will be this raised side that you see right here. Bar top will be wooden. You'll have the black sheep's wool chairs, some couches, another couch right here, and then another little sitting area over here. The concept behind the raised step is so that guests are sitting down into a normal sized chair and able to look the bartenders straight in the eye. Back here, this was the back of the bar where all the cocktails would be created. This side of the wall is where all of our rare whiskeys and our liquors will go. You got a couple refrigerators, dishwasher, sinks, and all this fun stuff back here. So the guests will start up here. They'll get their first course and a bite to eat while they wait for their guests. Once everybody's here, then the host will come back upstairs, grab the party, and we will continue down this hallway. The guests will be escorted down the stairs and into the kitchen. This whole line will have the cooking range. We'll have two big wooden separate passes. And the guests will stand right here and have their second bites with their whole party in the kitchen. The ability to talk to Kwame, interact with the chefs, and really get to see what's happening behind the scenes. And from here they'll walk past the garde-manger, which will be on this side, and past the service station, which will be right here, and they'll be escorted into the dining room.
It's a 32-chair dining room. We designed it to be as intimate as possible. We're leaving as much character in the building as humanly possible. This building was built in circa 1870, a little bit before that, they think, at 1867. It's an Italianate building, so we're trying to keep as much character as possible. We have some posts and some beams in here. We're gonna have some beautiful tables that are hand carved by Caleb Woodard Furniture. We're putting some really nice velvet chairs in with them. All of the lighting was designed by Caleb and I in conjunction with a business that we do, Hado Lighting. Hado Lighting basically was designed off of this project because we built the tables, then we built the dishware. We designed that with Cloud Tear. Cloud Tear designed all of it, and then it just made everything else seem like out of whack. Like everything was so artisan fueled that we decided that everything had to be designed from scratch. So we really kind of approached it from that perspective, and I think it was important. It's important to like think and try to kind of look forward to how the guest is going to interact and touch and feel and you know, it's an important part of the process. Most designers don't think about that. They're thinking about collecting furniture and buying from different places, and it's just a collection of furniture. We really like started from what we wanted the guests to feel and touch in each place, and then we designed around that, which I think was pretty interesting on this project. And then it led to like one project after another. So it ended up creating more work for us, but we were happy to have it. Caleb put a buffet in over here. We have lighting on the ceiling. All of our beams are exposed. Caleb and I we worked together on a lot of the design. I met Caleb when I was pretty young. Well, both of us were young. We met at a wedding in Spain and came back, and I started kind of just helping him out on the weekends at his shop in Arlington, Virginia. And I was really interested in building furniture, and Caleb was a great furniture maker, and kind of went through the process with him. I started going on the weekends, and it's just for fun. I never got paid or anything. And then I ended up doing it for like 7 or 8 years and just never stopped. And I really enjoyed it. And then it became, Caleb would build all the furniture for every business that I did. And typically speaking, I usually do all the design work for the interiors of my businesses, just because I don't feel like I can trust architects to always know like how a space is going to live and breathe. You know, it's no offense to them, but like there's rarely do you get someone who can actually build the space. I can build the furniture, I can work in the spaces, and then like I can design the spaces as well. And then I have my own particular eye, which is you know, I'm looking at stuff from a perspective of what can be built and what I can do to make it look different. You know, like I'm not a big fan of cookie cutter spaces and copycat spaces, and I'm just kind of not into plywood and veneer, and So almost all of the furniture is American made. That's important to me, and it's all like solid wood. Like really interesting. I hate going into a space 5 years later and it looks like it's been open for 30 years. All the wood's bubbled and the corners are chipped, and with real solid hardwood, you don't have to deal with any of that. I built that furniture one time for my spaces, and then the designs kind of last as long as they can. Caleb and I go through a long design process. We spend about an hour or so every single day on FaceTime. That's pretty interesting. His shop's now in Tennessee and Nashville, so I need to have that time talking with him every day, and he will FaceTime me if he's working with glass makers or tool and die guys, and I can really see the process, and it allows me to understand what we can build at that point. And every couple months we're getting stronger and stronger, and the network is growing, and so we're able to build more and more stuff. And obviously we're pushing every time we get to do one thing, the next project you're trying to push to do something else. So Caleb is one of the best American woodworkers on this in this great country, and maybe one of the better ones on the planet. And I'm very lucky from a design perspective to actually be able to know this guy in the height of his prime. On our website we have a link to click on to get any new news or any information on where we're at in the process, and for membership and reservations. Also check out our Instagram. We do a lot of pictures of Kwame and his food, and I think that's kind of what you need to do to follow the build here. Caleb and I have a hashtag Caleb and Kelly build a restaurant, so follow that hashtag, or follow Caleb Woodard Furniture on Instagram, and you're going to be able to see a lot of behind the scenes action here, and basically what it takes to open a business at this level. So it's going to be pretty fun to share that with everyone.